you think about if he's comparing himself to Marlo in this in this four eight bars, however much he spit. Marlo ain't never want to be down with the co-op anyway. That's what Fat Prop Joe used to call it. Marlo never wanted to be with the co-op. Marlo used to come to the co-op and send them meetings only because he could get the good dope from Pop Joe. That's the only reason Marlo used to show up to the meetings. Then when he killed Prop Joe and motherfucking got the plug directly, he like, man, we ain't meeting up. I ain't never want to come here anyway. So if he's comparing himself to Marlo in this scheme that he's doing, this 8-bar scheme, or 4 bars, 6 bars, whatever it was, he basically, I took it as, I didn't want to be around y'all anyway. Man, Warren said this be good for business.
Jay-Z might have quietly shared one of the most valuable business lessons of his entire journey. And believe it or not, a lot of people completely missed it. Cameron recently unpacked the hidden meaning behind Jay-Z comparing himself to Marlo from The Wire when he said, "I ain't much for meetings anyway. Forget the brunches." What sounded like a simple lyric may have been a much bigger statement, and you won't believe what it really points to. At first glance, it sounds like Jay-Z was brushing off industry gatherings, but Cameron argued that the real message had nothing to do with skipping events and everything to do with power, leverage, and recognizing your own worth. He explained that when Marlo stopped attending those meetings in The Wire, it wasn't because he lost access to the room. It was because he had already reached a position where he no longer needed anyone's permission. His influence had grown so strong that everyone else had to come to him instead. According to Cameron, Jay-Z was drawing that exact same parallel with his own position in the music business. The bigger takeaway is that once you establish true ownership, build real influence, and create lasting business power, the game completely changes. At that point, you're no longer chasing every connection or trying to convince people that you belong, because your value speaks for itself.
And I overlooked in that freestyle. I know freestyle came out a month or two ago or whatever, but he said, "I'm Marlo, I ain't much for the meetings anyway, fuck the brunches." Did you catch that when he first said that?
I heard it, but no, I didn't. But no, to answer your question, no. The first, because I listened to it a few times, I didn't actually catch that line until maybe a week ago, because people be replaying the clips and everything else. But I did hear that line that you're talking about. Yeah, not the first time I heard it. He said so much, I missed it the first time.
Yeah, I felt crazy because I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to go. I said I had to
go where?
To the brunch. I said, "What do you mean, fuck the brunches?" I said, "So wait a minute." I'm thinking, I'm assuming he's talking about the brunches he used to have. I remember saying, "Yo, I got the suit ready. Cam, what's up? You always want to curve something. Let's go." And you said no. But I never, I'm just now catching that line or whatever. I wanted to know what was your opinion on it when you said fuck the brunches, about the people who went already, and now you saying fuck the brunches. I just thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, man, that's actually a great question. So if I remember correctly, he had a lot of little wire shit in that freestyle that I overlooked as well. He's like, "I'm Marlo, I ain't much for meetings anyway. Fuck the brunches, the price of the brick going up." So if you watch The Wire, after Marlo killed Prop Joe, they was having drug meetings every week, and he's like, "Man, I ain't much for meetings anyway. And fuck these meetings, we ain't doing them no more. And the price of the brick is going up. That's that, I got to connect." So when I heard that line, the question is not for me, son. The question is for more people who went to the brunches. Like, that nigga said, "Fuck the brunches, I ain't much for meetings anyway." Did he ever care about the brunches? Or he just was rounding niggas up to see how many niggas would come? Pause. That's how I took the line. He got my son totally different. Everybody has their own opinion on how they see things. But when I heard that line, I'm sitting there saying, "Man, fuck the brunches, I ain't much for meetings anyway." Because Marlo, if you think about if he's comparing himself to Marlo in this four 8 bars, however much he spit, Marlo ain't never want to be down with the co-op anyway. That's what Fat Prop Joe used to call it. Marlo never wanted to be with the co-op. Marlo used to come to the co-op and sit in the meetings only because he could get the good dope from Pop Joe. That's the only reason Marlo used to show up to the fucking meetings. Then when he killed Pop Joe and motherfucking got the plug directly, he like, man, we ain't meeting up. I ain't never want to come here anyway. So if he's comparing himself to Marlo in this scheme that he's doing, this 8-bar scheme, or 4 bars, 6 bars, whatever it was, he basically, I took it as, I didn't want to be around y'all niggas anyway. Man, Warren said this be good for business.
That's the way I took it.
Yeah, that's why
I was upset. Like, wait a minute, I used to want to go to them brunches. You ain't want to go, so I was like, all right. You like, nah, man.
I knew that nigga Jay-Z was Marlo. You tell his face at the pictures, he wasn't smiling with nobody in no fucking brunches. He's sitting there with this face. Same face he had with Michael Jackson when they asked him about Mike. He, man, nigga, like, yo, this is good for business, Rock Nation popping. I don't want to be around these niggas. And I'm not saying Jay-Z felt like that. I'm just telling you how I took it. So, like, say you Marlo, ain't much for meetings. Fuck these brunches, the price of the brick going up. You have to ask the question. I would love to ask the question to anybody who went to them brunches, like, yo, how you feel about Jay-Z saying that? You'll get the niggas and be like, well, it was good at the time. I got the politic. I met some great people. And, you know, it led to something else. He ain't want to be there with niggas, man. He didn't. He said it. He ain't much for me. Anyway, in other words, ain't no more brunches coming up, nigga. I know the next brunch he throw niggas go, they bugging. He said he ain't much for me.
The real message behind Jay-Z's No More Brunches line isn't about avoiding people or isolating yourself from the industry. It's about recognizing your worth and understanding exactly when your value becomes greater than your need for approval. What makes this discussion so interesting is how success completely changes the way you approach opportunity. Early in your journey, you need to be in every room, build genuine relationships, network with the right people, and learn from those who've already reached the next level. But once you've created real leverage and established yourself, everything starts to shift. Your time becomes your greatest asset. Instead of chasing access, you begin creating opportunities that naturally attract people to you. That's exactly why so many people were connected with the comparison between Jay-Z and Marlo. It reflects the mindset of someone who truly understands the importance of positioning and long-term influence. It's not about believing you're above everyone else or refusing to engage with people. It's about knowing where your time and energy generate the highest return. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Jay-Z's Forget the Brunches line was really about smart business strategy, or was it his way of separating himself from the music industry? And do you agree with Cam'ron's interpretation that Jay-Z was comparing himself to Marlo to show he had reached a point where those meetings simply weren't necessary anymore?